It's free to dream, baby. It's free to dream. Let's go. Let's go. Oh my God. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Massive, massive win yesterday. We know about the news, okay? And we are going to cover it, but we cannot take away from what this team did yesterday, all right? Absolutely jacked still after that performance. I'm joined by Lex. We're going to tackle this one together, and of course, all the news in the aftermath. But my God, what a showing from Juve. Lex, are you still hyped or what?
Oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it. What a match. That's got to be one of the best matches in a long time. Like, just amazing.
I can't get over the emotions, like that feeling that there was so much to it, that we're going to break down, we're going to discuss. There are definitely some days going out there, and you guys know that's coming, and it's like a proud father moment when I look out there on social media and I see people giving the day out there and throwing that out there. I love it. But yes, there are days coming back, but this was, like we put in the thumbnail there for this felt like a Juve of old.
It really did.
It really did. This was also almost like a Motta exorcism of the demons in Champions League and the bad misfortune and the calls and everything. It was something else. Something else, okay? One of the most entertaining games in a long time. But yes, was it perfect? Was it pretty? No. But my God, did this team show us another level. That was unreal. That was unreal. I can't wait to break this thing down with you, Lex. We're going to tackle all of it. And again, just beautiful moments around this thing. This one made me laugh. The messages were coming in hot and heavy. I shared this one with Lex in the green room, but this was just fantastic too. We're going to fire it up. Oh, hold on. How did we lose that here? RSIB, and this is just one of many, but the feelings, it was just amazing. I absolutely loved every second about this. And then, of course, we knew that there was going to be something to come. Bremer going down, Gonzalez going down, but this was also, in part, one of the beautiful things about this performance and how we got the job done. We're going to waste no time. Everybody, the show's packed already. You guys know the drill. Drop the likes. For everyone tuning in on audio outlets, get over to YouTube, smash that subscribe button, and join us on these live shows, okay? Big shout out to Alex P. Wasting no time, dropping in, gifting 5 AJC memberships, man. Massive props to Alex P. This is, I think, the second or third time he's done this as well. For everyone jumping in as members, reach out to us and let's plug you into the private chat. All right, fantastic. Now we get to the starting lineup that was in this game, okay? And again, we'll talk about starting lineups also at the end, but Di Gregorio, Savona getting the call, Kalulu and Bremer, Cambiaso, McKennie, Fagioli, Gonzalez, Co-Miners, Yildiz, and Vlahovic. Now, there were a couple question marks about certain changes. Savona going against Leipzig's strong left side, and also Fagioli holding up defensively on what is an attacking team that did exactly what we called yesterday. 4-5 guys up high in the area trying to create some havoc. But to be honest, everybody kind of held their own. There were moments here and there. Like I said, this was far from perfect, but the fight never was missing from Juventus and each of the players out there. So in the end, you can't fault Motta, and I think you got to say he still pulled the right strings. But Lex, did you have similar concerns in that starting lineup?
Yeah, I think it was definitely a Motta starting 11. Like I said, putting his faith in Savona in a huge match like that, playing well. To be fair, McKennie, like I said, has been great in the midfield as of recent, but even having him in there, Fagioli in there were some questions regarding Fagioli's form, but I thought he completely blew all of those out of the water yesterday. What a performance by Nick Beans. Incredible stuff. I think in the end, once again, Motta proved us wrong with his starting 11 and with the faith he put in his guys. And I loved his comments in the pre-match conference when they asked him about his starting 11, and he said nessun dubio. He had no doubts about any of the players he selected. I just thought that was awesome to see that faith from your coach, and I think that really carried into the match as well.
Yeah, and people saying already in here, Fagioli best on the pitch. It was a great performance, absolutely. And to be honest, we get to tops and flops after the highlights and everything, but I don't think you're going to find a flop because of everybody's effort and work rate in there. There's probably going to be some shouting for one name, but honestly, we'll get to that. Right now, the highlights. We're going to rip through this, okay? Unfortunately, like we said, Bremer goes down 3 minutes into this and it's a stupid play. You're about to battle for a 50-50 ball. Openda comes into him before they reach a ball, and just, again, awkward little steps, and bang. You could see it in the photo too. One of those photos, it is kind of blurred, but you end up seeing that his knee definitely shifted. I feared the worst. There were hopes there that Bremer was going to be all right because of him putting weight on it and the way he was bending his knee. And unfortunately, for everyone here that does know that I've literally recently just gone through this, I did find out that I have ACL damage as well. We're just trying to wait to see the extent. I said none of that matters. The knees are ridiculous. You could literally get up, put weight on it, walk even a bit, and it could still be that it's a ruptured ACL. Like, it's wild. But unfortunately, we get the news on him that it is meniscus and ACL, 6 to 7 months, probably wrapping up his season. We'll get to that in the aftermath. And we do have Omer joining us. Better late than never. Happy to see you, brother, especially after such an incredible victory. We're literally just going through the highlights, just spoke about Bremer, the loss at 3 minutes in. Now we get to another loss. Gonzalez. 11 minutes in, we lose Gonzalez as well. Nico goes down, all right? And Conceicao comes in. One of the good things, Gatti obviously coming in for Bremer, the coverage feels good at this point. I want to get your thoughts. When you see Gatti coming in immediately, I was a little bit nervous, but not as nervous as I felt calling in substitutes that early into a game in years prior. And I don't know for what reason, but I still felt overall calm about it. Nico going down, Conceicao coming in. That's actually a great sign in itself that I think I felt fine with the subs coming in. How did you guys feel at that moment with those two immediate changes having to go down? Did you still feel a sense of confidence? We'll start with Omer, who just joined us.
Well, first of all, hello everyone, hello chat, and nice to see you all. I'm pumped, excited, whatever adjective you want to use. And yeah, that seemed kind of a big loss by that minute.
Oh yeah.
2 injuries, two subs down, only one left. 2 forced subs that early in a match away, and important players, not like rotational. One is probably our best player at his position. And yeah, I was beginning not to lose hope, but kind of give up. Like, it's not that bad if we lose, considering the circumstances. That's what I started telling myself. But I was wrong before, and I'll be wrong again.
Yeah, catastrophic start, pretty much. But I felt okay. I don't know what it was. I still felt okay. Gatti coming in, Conceicao. Lex, how'd you feel with those changes? Obviously, not ideal situation, but the faith in the players, was it there for you?
Yeah, not ideal at all, but I agree. I think my faith was there. I think Conceicao, we would have seen him come into the match anyways. I think more what I was, obviously, despite not knowing the extent of Bremer's injury, what I was mourning was the fact that Motta lost that ability to make subs, to influence the game. You know, no one wants to use 2 of those windows that early in the match. And then later with the Di Gregorio card, he's forced to his hand again to make a sub. So a lot of that was out of his control. So I felt I was mourning the loss of his game plan more than anything.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's something that we're going to tackle when Bremer goes down and losing him. I mean, I hate to say jinx, because someone brought up how critical he was yesterday on the preview show. We spoke in great length about Bremer. I literally said it's the only like injury outside of Dusan Vlahovic that I fear, and for completely different reasons, because Bremer is, for me, our best player. It's an incredible luxury to know that one of your opponent's top guys is going to be pocketed for 90 minutes. So losing that, things are going to change. But again, we continue on with this game. That was a catastrophic start. 29th minute, Gulakshi has to make a save on a deflected shot, just a reactionary save, but Leipzig literally goes all the way back. Openda hits Sesko, and for this one, I really, like, Gatti's out there watching Openda until Savona gets back. Then Openda makes a cut in. You could see Cambiasso. Gatti's trying to get back to the center back position. Kalulu is there. Cambiasso's following Sesko and just stops. He just literally shut down. And Kalulu didn't pick it up. I gotta fault Cambiasso on this one. I thought it was an avoidable goal. At least we could have contested it a lot better. Nonetheless, Sesko does what he's been doing, and that's bury. Juve's 1-0 down. Yeah, just one of those moments, little lapser. We're going to continue on. We're going to keep things rolling because we get to an opportunity here where it starts to frustrate Juventini. Overall thoughts on the ref. Letex here. We called him Frenchy McFrencherson yesterday and said this guy better not come up and cause issues. So L'Arbitro Nick weighing in. I was glad to see the ref who did the Euro final in this game leading up to it. He had some decisions to make in multiple VAR moments. Only one was missed, but it was crucial. It was not his best game whatsoever, but I do believe some of the decisions were all difficult to make in live time. So that's L'Arbitro Nick just kind of taking it easy there, but saying definitely not a good game. I think we'll have stronger opinions on this ref. 36 minute potential penalty on Vlahovic on a play we move forward. In this play, L'Arbitro Nick says the Leipzig defender puts his foot up in an attempt to poke the ball away from Vlahovic. Vlahovic beats him to the ball, takes a shot as the defender then gets Vlahovic on the foot with his studs. There isn't much to consider here. There's a clear challenge. The defender does not touch the ball at all and hits Vlahovic with his studs. This was a clear PK. Not given, and I'm not sure why VAR did not intervene. What color should the card have been if the penalty was given? Yellow. Yes, the studs do hit the ankle, but Vlahovic's leg was not planted. This was just a lunge for the ball. The defender didn't use full force or excessive force. Instead, I would say this is low to medium intensity. This pissed me off because that's about as clear a PK as you can really get.
It's a PK.
It's clear as day. The
Hands
rule
down.
states always to be in control. Again, nothing of the ball was touched. He came in late. He clipped him. It's got everything there for a PK. I have no idea how there's not even a look. He's not even asked to go and look. Like, it's... I have no
That's
words,
the
everybody.
thing. I didn't even catch the kick. It's like the VAR room. Why didn't they call him? I want to see their reasoning. He might have missed it. He might have missed the clip of the leg. So VAR had to tell him, you need to see this.
It's wild to me. It's wild to me. I do have words, though. I said I don't have words for it. I do have words. I have one massive word. There, all right? That's what you guys get. But it makes what follows that much sweeter, okay? So we get ripped off on that one. Honestly, the first half end, 45th minute, we get a long-range shot attempt from Fagioli. But honestly, we're down 1-0 at half. My feelings at halftime were we still, like, they look suspect at the back. If we ramp things up, I felt like, honestly, we were fine. We just needed to be quicker and more decisive in the final third. I felt like they were suspect at the back. And we can go back to our group chat, our team chat. I said, we have at least a goal in this game. Like, they're looking suspect in the back. And we all felt the same way. Like, Juve can break this thing and get a goal, and the next goal would be big. But we did see what we all questioned. A Juve under adversity. What happens to Motta's side when he goes down one. Dells actually brought this up 2 shows ago. We spoke about it on yesterday's preview show and the show before. What happens if we go down in that game? Would Motta ramp things up? Would he maintain balance? Guys, we got to fly through the second half because there's so much. We want to get to the aftermath. 48th minute. We are pushing. Great ball forward from Fagioli first to find McKennie, who does well at finding spaces. One of the things I said about McKennie in this game, open games will be easier for him. We'll talk about his performance at the end. He slides it over nicely to Cope Miners. Oh my God. Cope. Off the post. I wanted him to get that first one, and it was all set up, and I said, there it is for him. There it is. Unfortunately, post. 49th minute, though, we barely have to wait. What did we say about Vlahovic going into this game? Open games, get him running at the defense. Get him facing goal. Cambiaso, waste a little bit of time, but not that much. Early ball in, Vlahovic can run on it. That touch, superb. Fantastic goal, and we're fired up. We're at 1-1. Let's get rolling. Let's get rolling. That was fantastic goal, but we talked about it, right? That's how you get the best out of Vlahovic. That's how you get the best out of him.
Underrated. The goal feels kind of underrated because the others were far better. But it's not an easy goal.
It's not easy the way that cross bounced in as well, and getting that perfect touch to put it on an angle past Gulacsi there. That's a fantastic goal, but you're right. Fantastic. It gets overlooked because of the other two. That's a great finish.
That's a Dusan goal. That's his bread and butter. Front post run. He's so good on those.
Yeah,
That's what we need. That's what I want from him. One touch and it's in. Same way Trezeguet used to do it. Just be there when it needs a tap in, when it needs a good finish.
Yeah, pure striker's goal. Fantastic finish. That was just unreal. And the announcers were giving him props on that one. We needed that 1-1. We're cooking. 52nd minute. This was a mistake well up the pitch by Kalulu. Kalulu really making a strange, bizarre decision at the center back role on a throw-in that came centrally and quite long. Not sure how he decided he was going to cut this throw-in off, but he wasn't even close. It sent Openda the opposite direction. He gets 2 strikes at this and hits the post. And we're fortunate not to go 2-1 down literally 3 minutes after we did that. Now, in the overall performance, Kalulu had a great game. But this was, in a game like this, that would have been a very, very weird place to make such a mistake that would send them free run back at us. Now, great opportunity taken back from Cope Miners. Running towards goal, we have an odd man rush, and it's literally a phantom foul. This was ridiculous. The linesman, standing right next to the play, put the flag up for the foul. And when you watch the replay, he's not even close. He pokes the ball by him, runs around. The defender trips on his own. That one, that probably infuriated me the most of any of the nonsense we saw in the game yesterday from an officiating standpoint. That was ridiculous, beyond ridiculous. Motta's reaction, Cope Miners' reaction, that was crazy. And what to follow? I think it's 5 minutes later, maybe less. We get the instance with Di Gregorio. A through ball. He comes out, forced to come out of the penalty area, challenged for this ball. After review, he was sent off for the denial of a goal-scoring opportunity by handling. And this is all from L'Arbitro Nick. Di Gregorio went to make a sliding challenge. We see it clearly touch his hand, thus stopping the attack. Here we have to determine whether or not his hand is in a natural position or not. I think we are right at the limit of this. Between natural or unnatural. Some people argued saying he touched the ball with his knee first. This could have possibly helped his case. I'm not sure if we see clear contact with the knee first. We would need to see a clear play with a limb to annul the touch with the hand. This is a supportable decision. Letexier was likely called to the monitor because he likely completely missed the touch with the hand. I can't imagine VAR getting involved if he said the arm was in a natural position. Since this was a clear goal-scoring opportunity, this must be a red card if we call it a handball, which is why VAR can review this even if it happened outside the penalty area. Is what it is. I thought it touched the knee first, that outside of the thigh, but it's not definitive. It's not definitive. It sucks. It also sucks, though, for me, because I think if you put it all together, it's pretty harsh. Because if you're talking about it being on the brink of natural or unnatural position for his arm, I'd have to say it's more natural than it is unnatural where his arm is, based on how he's sliding out and everything. And if you're factoring in that you can't definitively say it touched his knee, but you can't definitively say that it did not, because it kind of looked like it did as well. I think it's a little bit tough, but I understand the red, and I felt the red was coming. So I'm not infuriated by it. It's a tough one.
Yeah, it's just what follows and what happened before that. First of all, the phantom foul, that was the worst call in the game. I don't get why he had to call it, considering the situation that left Coop in front of goal with Dushan in the center. Why didn't he let it play out and then go check it at the VAR? Why was the harsh decision to immediately stop play? And super annoying. And then because of that, the red card was very annoying. But I don't feel it was unwarranted.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, you gotta get it. Now, what ensues? Well, this is where like we said, what would happen when Juve hits adversity? I just don't think we anticipated adversity to this degree. It was insane. It was absolutely insane. So obviously Perin, he comes in for Di Gregorio. Okay, we also get another change. So you're going to get, at this point, it's Douglas Luiz, who also enters for Savona at that time. Okay, the first touch of the game almost for Luiz is immediately looked at on a free kick. Handball, it is a handball. Okay, Alberto Nick said on free kick resulted from both getting sent off. Luiz raises both his arms to protect himself from shot. Unless your arms are literally connected to your chest, it's almost always going to be considered a handball. So it is what it is. Sesko steps up. It's 2-1. And I'm thinking, man, that's pretty much it. At this point, I'm like, this is a huge uphill battle for Juventus. Okay? Massive, massive battle. But, my God, we got back to work. We just got back to work. It was like nothing.
It didn't even look like we were a man down. I can't lie. Like it didn't even look like we were a man down. It was
not what I expected, but we said, what happens? What does Motta's team do in adversity, down a goal? Well, we saw it twice in this game. And once down to 10 men. We got back to work. 66th minute, despite being a man down, Fagioli makes a nice weaving run into the area. Unfortunately, a very soft shot attempt. But I said it after the last match. He's got way more potential in and around the area as he gets more advanced. Okay? And I know how well he did there yesterday. I'm not opposed to seeing him further up as one of the advanced midfielders. Having Fagioli and Cope Miners, we'll talk about that more later anyways. Great move by him. 68th minute. Nice work to win the ball back. Vlahovic involved. Cope Miners involved. And Conceicao as well. And Conceicao quickly finds Vlahovic. He's running at the defense. Top of the area. This shot. Come on. That is just sweetness, Dushan. All right? Take a bow, man. One goal better than the next. This is insanity, okay? He brings us back level. And now I remember all the messages. Keep it. Just hang on. Hang on to the point. Take the point. My God, I didn't expect it to be as wide open as it was. It was crazy. It was wide open. Like Juve was sending bodies. And Leipzig, they had a lot of opportunities back. There's a lot of big chances. We'll talk about the numbers after. But man, right after it goes 2-2, we had a wave from Leipzig. because they're going to go after 3 points. They're up a man. What are they talking about? They can't draw this game at home. 70th minute. Openda, okay, a shot deflects, hits the short side post, okay? And then he misses another amazing chance on the follow-through, so we survived there. 78th minute, running back at us. Ball played out wide. Kalulu with a massive intervention, sliding to block this shot, okay? 81st minute, the hustle and tackle from Weston McKennie. Man, they were running back at us on a counter with good numbers. Weston busted his ass. 81st minute. Been playing down a man for almost 20. Insane. That tackle sparked it all. We go back the other way. The ball ends up to Conceicao. The new Formica Atomica? The new atomic ant? Maybe.
Yeah.
And a step up. He absolutely dummies Rom. There's another day from Conceicao. Dummies him. Dummies Rom. One of their best. And then finishes. I lost my shit, you two. Yeah. Lost my mind at that goal. Unbelievable. You guys, and you know what the crazy part was? My feed was failing. And I literally pop it back on, and then it's just him staring down at Rom and then beating him, and I'm like, oh my God. And he buries it, and I just lose it. I just lost it. I think my phone went flying because I was at work, whatever, and I was just like fist pumping. Yes, I ran out to the shop and did a lap. I was so jacked. Like my heart. If Juventus had doubts about like their heart health and watched that game, and you have been able to survive, your ticker is in good shape because I was losing it. You guys, take us through the feelings of that goal going in.
I know it was in the air, right? It didn't feel like you were going to settle for a draw, and all that entire sequence was absolutely great. The McKennie tackle, and then Kalulu just taking it all the way to the left, which they kind of left open after Yildiz came off, and then Conceicao, the footwork, pantsed Roman, right in front of everybody, and the calm finish.
Oh my God!
And then the celebration. I mean, everything about it. Goals from open plays. What is it, like the fifth goal now?
Dude,
from straight open play, build up. I was psyched. I didn't know what was happening.
It was unbelievable. Lex, this goal.
Some of you know this if you follow me on Twitter, but I missed the game live. And I had practice of my own, and I knew the score. So I knew what was happening. I didn't know when it was going to happen or from who, but I still went crazy when Conceicao scored. And that's after knowing he was going to score. So I can't even imagine the emotion watching that game in real time. Like, it was just unbelievable. I did not expect a play like that to come that late in the game, man down. Look that.
Look into my eyes.
Motta celebration.
Look into my eyes. Look into my eyes. Yeah. Look at this guy. This guy, I tell you, exercising the demons. Look into my eyes, Motta says. I am not fucking around. Unbelievable. Down a man, keep wide open. And like I said, Leipzig could have blasted us. They could have blasted us in that game. But they went after it. 1 point was not good enough for this team. Holy smokes. We could have been speaking differently if it didn't. But, hey, Motta, the players, credit where credit's due, okay? And like I said, we now get a wave from Leipzig. We survive it. Couple great chances from Sesko and Silva right at Perin. Shout out to Perin, who stepped in to this match and was great and answered the toll. 3-2. Get me the hell out of here, okay? Get me the hell out of Leipzig. 6 points out of the first 2 Champions League games, and now we get to the aftermath, but my God, what a moment. The way this game went down. All I'm going to say is this. We know it wasn't perfect. We know we went wide open. Leipzig could have slaughtered us if those big chances went in. The second half, first half, one big chance from either team. It was Leipzig. The second half, it was insane. 6 big chances for Leipzig, 3 for Juventus, 19 shots for Leipzig to 6 for Juve. Okay, 2 off the woodwork for Leipzig, 1 off the woodwork for Juventus. This second half was one of the craziest second halves I've seen in a long time. All the nonsense goes out. Like, you almost can't analyze this game and break down the errors and, because it wasn't pretty, it wasn't perfect, but this was a dogfight. And Juve was under adversity from the 3rd minute. So all I'm saying is, this is the type of victory where champions are molded. And it felt like a Juve of old. So I'm just going to give props to everybody. I have no flops in there, despite mistakes here and there. No. Massive character win and a huge, huge credit to Juventus because they made all of us Tifosi proud. That is a performance to be proud of. And right on cue from Alex P, UEFA, Champions League, Sefrin, the officials, the VAR room. All right. Now, Lex, break it down for us. Your overall feelings, emotions at the end of this one. And we'll do the same with Omer before getting to everything in aftermath. Lex?
It's so hard to put into words. Just feeling incredibly proud to be a supporter of Juve. Like, I can't think of a better match to feel that pride. I thought it was incredible to watch the team pull that win out of nowhere. And it's just absolutely like amazing the mountain they were able to climb at the end of that match. And I just give so much prop to Motta. I really, really do. I thought he had some incredible words in the post-match interviews. He said negative incidents happen in games. They were truly negative today, but the important thing is how you react to them. And I just credit him so much with the victory and the mentality of the team. The team is a reflection of the mentality of the coach. And we will always continue saying that. And I think it was the way Motta stayed calm throughout all of the adversity. And he kept saying, another great quote was that they were going to win despite the circumstances. And I think that just keeping that in the back of the mind of all the players was really what pushed Juve to that win. So just like I said, feeling incredibly proud of the group. Amazing job. Thank you, Motta.
There you go. It's nice to hear everyone on the same page in their words too. Everyone's buying in. Everyone is speaking along the same lines, and that's kind of something that's not always been there through the transitional years leading up to this one. It's a beautiful thing to see and great thing to touch on. Omer, overall views here.
Wow.
Oh.
Where do you begin? Let's just run through it quickly. Too early, important players' injuries, not uncalled penalty, the uncalled foul on Coop Miners, a goal down twice, and then coming back with a man down after a penalty. The way Juve did it, it's not even something that happens that often. It's not even fair to ask. Like, if you bring in Allegri and he said, "Yeah, we needed to win the match and go for it," that's not a normal thing to ask considering the situations. Which mean they're all buying what Motta is selling. He really Ted Lasso this team mentally. Everyone is on board. Everyone believe, and the feeling of now we have to win it because of the injuries, because of the way the game went down. Everyone was feeling like it. Like we would have all been happy with the draw. But the team didn't feel that way. The team felt there was a win there, and they went for it, and that's what happens when you take risks.
Dude, insanity. 9 minutes of stoppage time too. Time stood still for me. It felt like the clock wasn't even moving, okay? But again, to both of your points, and even seeing it in the chat here, there was so many opportunities for this team to pack it in and say today's not the day. And the fact that they didn't and pushed through and kept going, and like I said, it opened right up. We could have easily got blasted if some of those good opportunities, if that deflection goes in from Openda and they go right back up, maybe that's it. you know, but the desire to not sit on 2-2, the desire to, keep pushing and understand that they're going to push too because they want the 3 points. They're the ones at home. They're the ones one man up. The realization that you could still get your opportunities and you could still potentially hurt them, massive. This was crazy.
And how important that win is, because that we didn't do that against like a minor team.
Yeah.
Again, that's pot one team away. That's possibly our toughest match. Like
not according to Anthony Scanga though. Okay, so yesterday's preview show. By the way, Alex Juve saying, "Will Scanga be our Juve Champions League games prediction?" I remember the words vividly. Easiest game of the year. If that's easy, we're gonna die by the end of the season. Okay, if that's what we're gonna now classify as easy, all right. Our health is gonna take a nosedive here this season. But no, in all seriousness, that was a test. That was a test, and we showed a whole new level. We got to get to man of the match. We know who won it officially. It was Dusan Vlahovic. Was Dusan Vlahovic your official man of the match? Lex, who are you giving the man of the match honors to? And everybody in the chat, fire away with yours.
I think I'm going to pull an Anthony, and I'm going to give the man of the match to Motta. I know he's done that one before, but I think I've got to give it to him because I really, really, truly believe that this group does not have that sort of comeback without having a leader like him on the sidelines.
There you go. Motta's getting it from Lex. Omer?
Yeah, so I like choosing one from each department and then deciding who's best out of them. So it's Vlahovic, Fagioli, and Kalulu for me. Like, choose between those. I would have to go with Kalulu. Like, the task he was asked to do, first he moved to a position that he has yet to play for Juve, like the left center midfield defender, stepping out for Bremer after that injury. Saved us at least twice from an open goal, just commanding. He was everywhere. Yeah, absolutely deserves it. The reason we haven't considered as much is due to him. But
I'm
Fagioli
gonna go, and I love it. I love it because I could throw out several different names for many different reasons and instances in this game, but
yeah.
Usually, if you guys are paying attention, the ones I have concerns with going into the game tend to come out and just ball out. Fagioli, I had concerns of him holding it down against a team that will send 4 or 5 forward and the defenders need help. I'm giving it to Fagioli. He had a game. This guy balled out. And like I said, there is still a level to be found when it comes to Fagioli, and it's more advanced, higher up the pitch. Can he do the job? We said last year, like, this guy could play anywhere in the midfield. He could actually play anywhere in the midfield. Nobody's surprised by this. Nobody should be surprised by this. I've been saying over the past couple of weeks, he's a notorious slow starter to seasons. But we're all waiting for that true breakout from Fagioli. Hopefully, this is now the catalyst that starts this, rise to the heights we're all hoping for Fagioli. When it comes to other players, other performances, Weston McKennie put in the work,
Absolutely.
And when we're talking about the lineup, and we were even going yesterday in the preview show, I remember saying, like, you got to mix it up. You can't have all players. You can't have 5 cooks in the kitchen. All players that want the ball to feet, that just want to all be the dictator and controlling. You can't have that. Wes may be finding himself his home because he's that contrast. But his work rate is insane. It's insane. And it showed up in waves yesterday, and it was massive for us. Massive. Cope Miners, Colt Miners got a little bit of flack. First half, he got a little bit of flack. People weren't too happy with how he was playing. And maybe it was a usage thing and whatnot, but I still don't have any problems with Colt Miners. I think he's doing a great job.
He worked his ass off.
Del Piero said the same thing. It's getting better and better. These are the exact words I used in yesterday's preview show. Colt Miners getting better and better and better. And I thought he would get a goal yesterday, but once he gets that goal, I think it all breaks free. Del Piero said once he starts scoring, that's when things really start to evolve with Colt Miners. But he's looking better and better. Kalulu, incredible job. Savona, Champions League. Big game.
Did great.
Did a good job. Solid.
Yeah. Cambiaso was massive. Even after the mistake, made up for it. I mean, you can name literally anyone.
Yeah, I want to talk about Yildiz, though. Because some said Yildiz was too invisible in this game. What were your two opinions on Yildiz's match? Start with Lex.
I think that I was unfortunate to see him kind of pay the price for that red card and that substitution.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just the move that had to happen. We had to take off an attacker. We went with one up top. And unfortunately, it was Yildiz or Dusan, and he seemed to value keeping Dusan out there over him. I think that it was more of a situational circumstance where the momentum for the team really shifted in the second half and we really started to step up as a group. So I don't think it meant that the first half was particularly bad or was a bad game for Yildiz. I think it was quite literally just situational. I think you put
it was
Yildiz
situational that he got substituted out, but the minutes leading up to that, the 60 odd minutes, people weren't very happy with his performance and saying that he wasn't effective, he was ghosting and whatnot. This is one of the things around this team right now where I'm actually okay with is we have enough now. Like, that's the beauty, I think, of this team. Try to rule out a player like Yildiz. Well, you're still going to have Cambiaso to deal with. You're still going to have Colt Miners to deal with. You're still going to have Gonzalez or Conceicao to deal with. This is what we need. Because for quite a while, over the past, I don't know how many years, it felt like we're way too reliant on certain individuals. I no longer feel that. I'm starting to get this sense of belief that as a team, we are finally evolving. And now you're finding other guys coming up big for this team. And it's what we need. So I'm not gonna go after Yildiz and say, yeah, he was ghosted, he didn't do anything. He might have been quiet, but if it wasn't available to him, it became available to other players. So in the long run, it's not going to be every game Yildiz, Vlahovic, Conceicao on absolute fire. There's going to be a game where you need Fagioli to step up. There's going to be a game where you need a Colt Miners to step up. There's going to be a game where Mac's going to have to come up big. Locatelli's going to have to come up big. The list goes on and on. But I think now, in terms of the group overall, the sense of belief is picking up amongst all the players, and they're all starting to kind of elevate. Am I alone in feeling that?
No, it's absolutely how it feels like. It also felt like it with Bologna. Like the system worked, so just inject the player. If he knows what he needs to do, then the system works. I think Yildiz had a quiet match. I think he needs a rest. He's been playing every match so far. The substitution again was forced, and I felt it was very logical because Conceicao already came in as a sub, and Dusan, we don't have a replacement for him on the bench. So does Coop. And that's another credit to McKennie that he offers you this option. He went to right back and offered Douglas Luiz the position. So yeah, Yildiz didn't have the best of games. It wasn't bad. But considering everyone, like the other option was to bring on Mbangula. And it didn't feel like that was the right move.
No.
But it did play out well for Juve.
Yeah, absolutely. Is a message now sent to other clubs about Juve?
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And to the team themselves, the thing a win like that does to the team's mentality going forward, going into matches.
I'm going to say this, okay? So Tony Trim coming in, we always said our depth would be tested. Now is the time to shine. Well, we're going to get to the news, but I'm going to say this moving forward. I'm almost past the point now in this team and what I've seen of discussing the lineups. I'm at the point now, Motta has gained my trust. And if he's got a guy in there, based on what the guys are doing with their starts, with their opportunities and whatnot, for the most part, you'll find a few odds and ends here and there, but I'm pretty much done discussing the lineups. These guys are delivering, they're performing. But the lineups, moving forward, well, things get a little bit more challenging. They get a little more challenging. Bremer, we get the unfortunate news his season is done. Okay? So ACL and meniscus. There's nothing to say here that we don't already know about what a massive blow. I literally said yesterday this was one of my biggest fears around this club is losing this guy. He's our MVP. And now we're facing it head on. As far as free agency and the rumors, okay, so Sergio Ramos, Monblano threw that out there. We've got other free agent lists. There's Matip on there, but Matip's actually got like some kind of problem physically. So I don't even want to get into free agency. From the term of a loss, this is massive because you can see massive win and massive loss. It's an incredible luxury to know that you've got a guy at the back that is literally going to pocket the main man on the opposition for 90 minutes. I don't think we replace that with anybody else on our lineup, on our current squad, and it's going to have to be a group effort. And I think Motta's going to have to make it a group effort. As far as immediate, your center backs are Danilo, Gatti, Kalulu, and Cabal can be used there. I've heard the rumors of him saying Douglas Luiz could also be used there. We've had many shouts for people saying Locatelli could be used there. McKennie has played there for Schalke at some point. It's going to be carry on until January, I feel. I don't think we're going into free agency. We'll see what's Caceres doing. That's gold. Listen, I don't think we're going. And Mirko Di Natale states we're not going into free agency. Like, we're not doing it. The funny thing about that Sergio Ramos thing is, of course, we're going to ask the question. We put it out on a poll there. Just trying to see the results. I believe it was, it's 60% yes to Sergio Ramos. Just the hypothetical, okay? But you guys, how do you account for this now? Like, it's got to change the game plan a little bit.
I think you'll get more Cabal out of it. That was kind of the talk that Motta prefers him as a center back rather than a left back, so he's going to get some minutes. Yeah, guys will have to step up. Kalulu showed he can do it if needed. Danilo has played that role last season, sort of. It's a huge loss. I mean, that was our best, most consistent player, and we lost him. It's a loss to any team.
Yeah.
The guys will have to step up. Maybe some tweaks in the way we build from the back, but there's no two ways about it. Just a huge loss.
With the versatility, I think we'll be safe until January, because those midfielders, even though I don't want to see them there, they could do it in a pinch. Locatelli would probably be my first pick out of the bunch if we had to. Lex, the loss of Bremer, anything to add? What do you think in terms of making this work with the names we have?
Yeah, you guys covered it pretty well, I would say. Just a huge loss. Very unfortunate. I haven't felt this way since the Chiesa ACL injury. So just that's something you never want to see happen to your starting lineup or to anyone on your team, especially, as we mentioned, someone who was, a front runner for MVP for us. So I think that Kalulu and Gatti will have to step up. And if we need to throw in a midfielder in rotation, then we do. I think that we're going to wait till January to make any other change.
Yeah. I'd agree. Now, I'm going to say this. While all the focus, obviously, because of the name, Gleis and Bremer, I'm actually more nervous probably about up top. So, Nico Gonzalez, also down for a month. Man, yesterday man, I don't know what it was, but everything that we said on the show was literally affected because I remember myself and Ann saying, where the hell is Milik? Well, Milik had to undergo another operation, okay? So they tried to heal naturally a meniscus injury, and it's essentially the exact same situation Paul Pogba just went through. So Milik is now out until December. Gonzalez is out for a month. Weah is injured, and he actually reverted back from individual training to no training this week. We're pretty skinny up top. I'd say that's a bigger concern for me moving forward than the back is, to be quite honest. Yildiz has played a lot consistently. Like, he's going to need some breaks too, but Mbangula could come in and offer that. But it's getting a little bit thin up there. And even Vlahovic. Now what do you do in trying to offer him, if Nico Gonzalez was the guy? You're going to have to switch possibly a formation. Are you more concerned with the offensive side of things with the injuries or the defensive side?
The defensive side.
Really?
Yeah, we are skinny right now at the top, but we do have that international break in the middle, so that's 2 weeks off. I believe Weah will be back afterwards. And Nico out of the 3 weeks, 4 weeks, he got, again, 2 weeks that he's not going to Argentina to play. So yeah, he might have a speedy recovery. But like I said, it's kind of a system thing, just inject players. And if the system works, it will work out. But if we get another injury, and then we have a real issue. But still, I would call some players from next gen to at least have the option.
We signed two in the offseason. Maybe one of them comes up. Yildiz as a 9. Lex, what do you think about that?
I think it's interesting, honestly. Something wanted Motta to explore, maybe potentially if he gets the chance. Yildiz is in the false 9 role, I think. Maybe see kind of how he used Xerxes last year. I don't know. I think it would be interesting. I agree with you, Berto, though. I do think that I'm concerned a bit about the weakness up front, how thin we are. And I think that we're, as Omer said, one injury away from it being a real issue. So Milik being out until December was kind of unexpected. I think maybe in the same way we were unexpected with injuries yesterday. So I think that just added to the pile. It kind of flew under the radar because it didn't happen in the match, but that is a big loss for us.
Yeah. And for me still, if you're looking at Yildiz, you're looking at Gonzalez, you're looking at, these other options, maybe Cope Miners moving a little forward as this kind of hybrid in the attack. It's all experimentation. So if you're looking at that route and you're thinking about free agency right now, despite the injury to Bremer, if I'm looking at free agency, it's up top and not at the back line just yet. That's just me.
Agree. No, with that I fully agree.
Yeah, if we're going to look at free agency, it's not at the back. Based on who we have, the versatility the players carry, it's up top. And up top has always been my concern. You guys know this coming out of the summer mercado. And we are thin there. But it is time for Storm the Barn. We're going to get to, we got a ton already in there. The live's been fire. You guys, drop a like, all right? We got, been carrying 170 to 200 in here. Let's go. Drop those likes and let's fire away with Storm the Barn. We got one from RB Comps. Joel Matip, obviously one of those names. I think he was insanely underrated at Liverpool. I'd much rather him over Ramos, the rat. There you go. For me, real quick, Ramos, it's a no. It just doesn't. The guys in the twilight, I don't think are going to bring anything to this team and what we're building and what we got going on, even as a third string option or whatnot. Matip, I think, like I said, I think he's got physical actual issues right now. But otherwise, Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's a no there. But I would agree if out of the free agent list, the names that are there, he was fit and available, he would be my first choice out of the list. Because the list, I'm going to be quite honest, it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. Like, I'm trying to take a peek here. Joel Matip, Umar Soleil, Amarte, Bocati, Kofi Gigi, Sergio Ramos. So, come on. What are we talking about here? I might as well be listing menu items at a restaurant you guys have never heard of. What are we going on here?
Yeah.
It's weak. It's weak. But Matip would be my top choice. You know? Physical
Yeah,
issues,
he's
not a whole
super
lot.
injury prone. He was injured a lot for Liverpool. That's why he kind of hasn't cemented his spot.
Yeah.
And yeah, all of them are a no for me.
Yeah. And then there was actually Simone Kyer is actually out there that some were throwing out there. In a pinch as a third string, whatever. Fine with it. But for shits and giggles, Lex, Ramos, third stringer.
Absolutely not. I heard that name and I'm like, what are we even talking about? No chance, man. Can't stand that guy.
Oh, there you go. There you go. The hate lives on. Now, Storm the Barn bonus. Is McKennie now an official untouchable starter? Omer?
Not untouchable, uh, which kind of feels like the atmosphere in the team. Like no one is untouchable, and everyone is ready to step up whenever they need to. McKennie is good for certain types of games, situations, and so yeah, I don't feel like he's untouchable.
Yeah. Lex?
Absolutely not.
I don't think anyone's untouchable. I think Motta likes his rotation. That's my answer.
Yeah, he has. I said a lot about Motta last year in with Bologna and just one comp. He switched a lot. I call him Mr. Tinker Train. He's always tinkering with his lineups. There's always surprises there. But I think what we witnessed yesterday is exactly why no player is untouchable. Looking back, there's a lot that can be said about too much rotation. Guys can't get chemistry. That's a classic complaint, right? You're rotating your lineup so much, these guys can't get chemistry. What's going on? But the hindsight is, if it works, okay, the flip side is you can get more players involved. You can get them up to speed and feeling good about themselves so that if a situation arises like yesterday, it's next man up and there is no fear. I saw no nerves, zero nerves from any of the players in yesterday's match. And I feel a lot of it is because they were all ready and able to go. And a lot of that is probably due to because of how Motta is managing the men. One of the biggest question marks Juventini had about Motta, multiple competitions and the squad, how is he doing it? So far, zero complaints from me. And I think yesterday was a big sign of how everybody is ready. Dougie Luiz, I wouldn't say nerves. I just think he's still, to me, there's something weird there. He goes from showing you really good to really bad. I think it's more just him. I think it's just more him. He's got to get in there. Luiz is the only one, but he didn't look nervous. He almost looks like nonchalant and like too confident. I don't know what it is.
He's not up to speed. That's what they've been reporting every day.
Yeah, like he's gonna have to, like they gotta ramp things up for him and in the training and maybe some individual stuff, some extra hours. I don't know. Get it going. You know?
Yeah, my general feeling about it, and excuse my language, is like who fucking cares? Right now, Douglas Luiz underperforming is the least of my concerns. More than enough backup in midfield. He'll get up to speed. The season is not done for him because people are making it like we signed the worst player we could have for a lot of money, and he won't ever be good. That's the general feeling. Like a lot of people just lost hope with him. I'm not there. I really don't mind like this. The least of my worries is Douglas Luiz underperforming.
Yeah, we've got to get him going. We got to get him going.
Yeah.
one way or another.
Ooh.
And I believe it will. And it will ramp up and they will get him going. We just, a little bit of patience. I still always said I expected him to start against Cagliari, and I still expect him to get that start against Cagliari. And I think it might tell us a bit about Motta and this man management thing, because it's real easy to say, man, you stepped into that game, handball immediately on a free kick, whatever, but to go back to him on a start against Cagliari through the struggles and say, hey, we believe in your ability. It's up to you to finally show us and let's go. And I do believe we're going to need more quality in the midfield because Cagliari will park the bus 100%. So let's see if Dougie gets the nod there. Swati, is Juve the most ill-fated team when it comes to injuries? First, my man Fede, now Bremer, and not to mention the likes of Dybala, Di Maria. I don't think we're the most ill-fated team.
No, I guess everyone feels that way about their team.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of teams suffers from injuries all the time. The Premier League,
Yeah.
poor guys. I mean,
I
yeah.
do think there's going to be... Shit's going to hit the fan very, very soon when it comes to injuries. We've already had Rodri that spoke openly about too many games for these guys. They want to push the money. They want to get so much more money. They're playing so much, and all these organizations are out for more games, more money. And these guys are, playing through knocks, playing through injuries. That's allowing other areas of their body to overcompensate. And one minor thing that you're dealing with to go through can turn into something serious eventually because of overload. Something's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if the players, form a union of some sort, or a lot of them are now talking about it. Rodri, he went down. Bremer, your product is only as good as the best talents that you have. And when more and more start falling, you got to take a look. But again, I don't have the numbers on it. I don't our injuries way up over the past how many years. I don't really know. I'd need to do some serious research and look at it, because everybody's I'm getting messages and it's man, what is going on? Why so much? They got to play less. And I'm well, is it playing less? But I don't know. Sports science is way more advanced than it was a long time ago. These guys, in theory, have all the best technology around recovery, taking care of themselves. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
UEFA puts a stick in your wheels. No matter how good your players are, and they don't really have time to rest. 3 days between matches with traveling and stuff, that's not rest for the body. And they don't even get to train. And now that you have these many matches and you need them to play more than 60 matches a season, they also have to train a lot harder. So the trainings are even worse. And eventually, you'll get injuries. Every team will get injuries and crucial injuries during the season. And we got ours now. But UEFA are doing nothing to help that, and I'm just furious about it. I mean, I've complained about it here on the pod a lot for years now.
Yeah,
And
it's going to come to a head here pretty quick. Something's got to give. There's too many injuries. There's too many games. These players have been talking about it for a long time. Something's going to happen, right? Now, keep it moving. Dells, we kind of talked about this already, but he said, did you feel nervous that we didn't shut up shop after 2-2? My initial thought was that we were being naive, trying to go toe-to-toe rather than taking the draw. Like I said, I didn't expect it. I did not expect to just open up and try to get after that 3-2. And we left ourselves, like I said, it's a great feeling because it worked. But maybe we're having a different discussion if we open up, we go toe-to-toe and we get blasted and then give up the 1 point. It's fair to say, right? What did Vlahovic say? When I'm scoring, I'm the best. When I'm not, I'm the worst. Hey, Motta could have been getting shit on today if he opened up and we get blasted when you got 2-2 and you could maybe try to shut it down, right? Hey, you take a shot and it worked. You
I
know,
think we've seen too many times too trying to shut up shop and then getting a PK conceded or making a mistake, because when you bring that pressure onto your defense, then that happens at the end. I mean, Arsenal City is a perfect example of that. Final minute injury time, they still ended up conceding the goal. So I think no risk, no reward. I think Motta decided to play the game ballsy and paid off.
I think it's also like part of the moment, the game, and just the feeling, right? Like maybe they felt against
Yeah,
Leipzig that, you know what, like I would assume the scenario would be treated differently against Man City, okay? As opposed to
yeah,
Leipzig. No disrespect whatsoever to Leipzig, but maybe, just maybe, you know, they just had a feeling because they were suspect at the back as well.
yeah,
We could maybe get more,
yeah.
you know?
And I want to give some credit to Leipzig because they are a good team. They have played well. They had tons of chances, hit the post a couple of times. The hosting of Juve, they played the Juve anthem in the warm up.
What
Like,
kind
who
of
does that?
German mind games is that, too? Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah,
You know?
they were commenting during the match about the injuries, about Nico and Bremer. I mean, they were hosting Juve in a nice way. It's nice to see. We don't get that a lot, and especially playing the anthem just to get the guys in the mood in a different stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have you seen that? So credit to them. They are a good team. They caused a lot of teams problems. But yeah, we
Yeah.
came up trumps. The feeling of a win and going for it was in the air. Like, it didn't feel like the team gave up.
Yeah. I think moments in games you get these feelings, but yeah, that one, we went after it. It worked. Vidad, looking at the
Yeah.
previous Juventus squads, I think that this Juventus has most tactical options in the squad since early 1980s. We can attack, defend, and control. Your opinion on this statement as far as most tactical options? I think that plays in line with the most versatility. It's most versatile lineup we've had in a long time. It's hard to disagree with that. Hey?
Yeah, you can't really choose a starting lineup. Like you have tons of options, whatever formation you go with. So yeah, not right now with the injuries, but still, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with the statement in terms because when we went to that Champions League final, like against Real, who were substitutes? Sturaro, Lemina, Quadrado
Lamina,
came off the bench.
Storaro. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, those were the options off the bench where Real brought on like Asensio and all those magnificent players they had there. And so yeah, it definitely feels like there are a
It,
lot more options now.
it's interesting because, yeah, like we talked about this a lot. Like you've got to have, we said this over the decade of dominance, like you got to have these utility players, we call them, right? The guys that can play multiple roles and whatnot. When's the last time you could think of a Juve squad that has this many guys that could be considered utility players covering multiple roles? Like Lex, what's the last squad that you could think of that has this many?
It's been a while.
I
It's
don't know
on.
how far back I can go because I'm trying to think here how far back for this many versatile guys. You got Cambiaso, Kalulu, I'd consider versatile. I consider Fagioli versatile because he's anywhere in the midfield. And I think he could be used also advanced. You've got Yildiz that could play anywhere across the top. You've got Gonzalez that could play anywhere across the top. Cope Miners would be considered flexible as well.
West?
The list goes on and on.
Yeah.
McKennie, absolutely.
McKennie, West.
McKennie, versatile. Like it, I can't think of a roster that has this many.
Yeah, I would agree. Under Conte, had a lot of role players that can perform anywhere. That's like the last time I can remember. But still, it feels like we have more now. I think
Yeah,
that's what football requires. You can't. Most teams can have a roster of a player for each position and a substitute at roughly the same level. So you have to go for these utility players who can
yeah,
fill in multiple roles. And that's the type of team they build. I believe they build the team with that in mind by
yeah,
choosing the players they chose.
yeah. Alex P, do we go out on David in January? guy seems determined to get a top club transfer. So for me, I've always heard that this non-European slot would be available and would be able to open up. But apparently they changed the rule to you cannot no longer open up the second slot during the season. And that once you sign 2 non-Europeans, that's it for that entire season. I swear that I saw somewhere you can open it up, and it has something to do with contracts, and it might also have something to do with next gen. But for now, the 2 non-European signings for Juve have been registered into Serie A. So we're getting a lot of mixed on this, but yeah, and nobody can clarify. So even the same people, the same guys that are out there putting the rumors on David can't answer 100% on the non-European slot, which I find hilarious. It's weird. So yeah, it's almost not even really on commenting on. But for me, January, you got to make a move up front in the attack. Keep it rolling. Scanga, will Alberto put away the bike pump for other subpar clubs? Subpar club, Leipzig, after that game. So, Scanga, will you ever be able to name 2 players on a club you're calling subpar? Let's start there. And make sure the hair dye is done and stop bleeding into your brain before you make these little posts, okay? Go keep dyeing the jet black. Take it easy. Potential Bremer replacement in-house. We covered that one already. We'll keep machine gunning these. Oh, you too. Balotelli searching for an opportunity to play in Serie A again. We are searching for advice. Would you do it? Omer, Lex? Balo.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No way.
I'm willing to let Milik go and not bring anyone if Balotelli is the only option.
Man.
Awful player.
Balotelli.
Absolutely awful.
That's funny. So it's a no?
No.
Would you take Scanga in as a replacement to Gleason? I wouldn't even take Scanga as a water boy replacement. Okay.
No. He would ask for money. I have a trash can right here that would do it for free. I don't need Tony there.
You want Scanga around Juve when Fagioli has had betting issues? What are we talking about? Skanga's the guy that brings in all the betting odds to our preview shows. You want this guy? No. It's a bad idea.
That's worse than Balotelli.
That's a bad idea. That's worse than Balotelli. I agree with you. Now, Kevin Danso with loan plus option to buy in January. Your thoughts?
No thoughts. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
You don't have anything on that, Lex? Anything?
No.
No.
I might have
to. It doesn't seem to really matter.
What's that?
It doesn't seem to really matter. If you want to bring a player, bring him in. If Motta approves, whatever you can do with him, yeah.
So we're going back to what I was saying earlier. The trust is there. Let them do what they want. Everything we seem to, maybe sometimes have issues with, just seems to work out just fine. We keep it rolling. Let's keep machine gunning some. There's a lot in here. Let's go. How confident are you about Juve's defense handling the tough opponents like City, Villa, Inter, Milan, Napoli, and so on without Big Bad Bremer? Well, I guess we'll find out. Like I said, I think it's just got to be by the group, but I think we'll still be formidable just based on the tactics Motta applies.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday. His way of defending is controlling the ball and not putting up a defensive coordinated line. Pushing up, sniffing up like passes before they even reach the attacker. That's his way of playing. Even yesterday, away, we had, until the red card, we had a pretty high percentage of possession. Even without those chances, that's one of the ways to nullify your opponent. Just hold on to the ball. So I don't think in that aspect Bremer's absence will be that much felt. I think it's the counter attacks and where he's the last man standing to block someone. That's when we're probably going to feel it more.
I'm not as worried about the Italian opposition. Like City and Villa will be tough. They will be very, very tough. Like City, what are we talking
Yeah,
about, right?
they will be tough regardless, with or
Yeah,
without Bremer.
exactly. But the Italian sides, I'm not as concerned. Lex, anything to add?
No, agree with it. You guys covered it all.
Okay. Trey, I'm gonna say it. I've been a lot more excited and impressed with Chico, a lot more than Keenan, even before the Worldie yesterday. That's what we've been expected to see from Keenan. Okay, Lex, your thoughts on the two players, Chico and Yildiz, so far?
I think they're both great. They both stepped up in their moments. I mean, not to have a fickle memory about Keenan's fantastic screamer he scored, first UCL goal, right? So I think it just depends on the day. It's nice that both of those guys can step up. When one's having a quieter game, as you mentioned earlier, the other one steps up and takes his place. So I think I'm happy with both of them.
Yeah, there you go. Omer?
Yeah, I think Conceicao is a bit more experienced in the Champions League, and yeah, not a whole lot. I'm not all in for that. Yildiz is awful now and needs to do better, or looking for other better players on the team. Conceicao is a bit more experienced. He seemed more at home, let's say. In Champions League, it didn't feel like the pressure of the status, affected him. Maybe on Yildiz too, but again, my issue with Yildiz now is that it feels like he needs a rest. He needs to sit
Yeah,
one match out, not as a punishment, just as rotation. He's been played every
yeah.
match so far.
I think that the thing for me is situations. It's not ability. It's not like the talent. Like I'm as equally excited for Chico as I am Yildiz. Conceicao, though, everyone remembers through the transfer window, I was saying like I would do whatever it takes to bring in Conceicao. Like he was the one that excited me the most. When it comes to Yildiz, there are still those situations, and I know that a lot of focus is like, oh, he's got to be slightly more central than just against that wing. When I think it's just more situational, that he will grow, he will develop, he will gain that in time. He's still a good player. He's still a threat up in attack. Chico is to a level higher. And for me, it's because of those situations. It's understanding. I'm going to knock it to cope now and then run. This defender's going to go with me. Okay, I'll circle back. I'll come back into the cycle. If that doesn't work, we come back. Like, oh, I can't take these guys on now. There's too much. The switch is there. Let's go. It's the situations. And it's that understanding that, like, he doesn't really put much wrong in his minutes so far. Like, I can think of maybe a couple scenarios where it's like, man, you really shouldn't have done that. But it's significantly less to the other guys. The situational understanding by Chico is crazy for a 21-year-old. It's crazy.
He was involved in all three goals.
Yeah.
The hockey assist for the first one, then Kaina assisted Dushan and scored the third. Like, he was massive and came on as a sub.
Yeah. He's
early
huge.
on.
He's been huge. He's been huge.
But the thing with those youngsters, you gotta remember, Yildiz is 19. Like, that's where you make mistakes. We've seen the stats where Locatelli is second that in midfielders in Europe. Like, only who was he below in terms of midfield stats? It was a few days ago by Data MB, if you remember that post. And no one on that list was below 26.
Yeah.
Like, the best midfielders stat wise around Europe, no one is below 26. So yeah, the young guys, we gotta be patient with them. They're not the best versions of themselves right now. And yeah, Kimmich. Thank you, Matt. Kimmich was the first one.
Kimmich. Yeah. And we have to buy Chico? Hell yeah. Have to buy Chico.
Another question. And does that kind of, what happened to Bremer, kind of nullifies selling him next summer?
I hate to be that guy. Okay. We have to wait and see what goes down, because all these guys are different, and that's a major, major injury. You're a bigger guy too, a heavier guy. It's a lot different. it's different for all these guys.
No, I
Yellow
think
fever.
on the positive note, like now we're not going to sell him in the summer. He's still going to be injured. I don't think anyone's coming in to pay for him.
Yeah, but again, like I hate to be that guy, but like whether that's good or bad, I mean, this could be. It's never good.
No,
Never
it's not
good.
good. It's like
It's never good.
climbing. It's not
I hope though,
good.
because look at
So-
Chiellini.
Let's keep the hope,
Yeah.
and just let's wait it out before we talk too much on it. And yeah, that's so far from my mind, man. Right now, let's get him recovering, see how it goes, and then hope he comes back stronger.
be
And
back
yeah, if it does
earlier.
in the end prevent teams from coming in, and he hits where he's at now, I'd be more than happy. More than happy. So
But it will be back faster than expected. I do believe that.
hope so. Do you think at a certain point in the match, Leipzig players were intentionally trying to chop us down, hurt more of our players? Numerous reckless slide tackles from behind in the second half. I don't know if I'd say any of it was
No.
intentional to hurt players. I will say a couple things were intentional from Gatti, and I actually liked it. Gatti's got a little bit of a mean streak to him, and he came in and, yeah, he got Xavi Simons right in the gut there. You know what? Some people don't like it. You got to have an asshole. You got to have an asshole. We faced many, and we always hated them. I'm okay with a guy being there that that the other team maybe hate, but it is what it is. Possible lineup for Cagliari. Anyone want to take a stab at that? Or even what you would do?
I think we'll see a lot of rotations. Some of these guys, I think we'll see something more similar to the Como match from the beginning of the season. Like Di Gregorio, Kalulu is a lock, probably. Gatti is a lock. And I think Cabal would get a chance. Maybe as left back, as Savona will play, yeah. Danilo, maybe. So, okay, I just named everyone. So, let's say I'll go Di Gregorio, Kalulu, Gatti, and Savona and Cabal. Those would be my back line. And Locatelli to Ram. I will let those two play. And the starting attacking lineup kind of chooses itself. Has to be Vlahovic, has to be Coop, and has to be Conceicao, maybe Mbangula. Maybe Yildiz will get the rest and Mbangula will get a start. Which should be enough.
If I was going to take a stab at it, I'd probably say Di Gregorio. I think you'll see Savona. I think you'll get Danilo and Gatti. Maybe give Kalulu a break and go Cabal out there on the left. I think you'll see Cambiaso up at right wing. I think you'll get Cope Miners. I think you'll get Locatelli Thuram and Vlahovic Mbangula. That's just shooting from the hip. Something I think. Lex, you want to take a stab at it?
You guys have covered it pretty well. I just say we see Luca back in there. I think we see Luiz, and I think we see Mbangula. I think that's definitely some locks that we see because of the rotation.
There you go. There you go. Now we're going to get to a few, just again, machine gun. Does Juntoli get Xavi Simons? That guy is an engine. He was my player of the player to watch for Leipzig going into that one. Mm-hmm. Man, I'd be jacked, but he's on loan with them. He's going back to PSG. Yeah, who knows? I'd love it, though. Great player. He's a great
Phenomenal player. Really enjoyable.
Would
really
love
nice
that. Would love that.
What? Sesko as well.
What's your take on Sesko? This is coming in from Dells. Is he better than Dusan in your opinion? There's a big shortage of top nines in world football. Sesko with Openda was another two names for guys to watch for Leipzig. Sesko, obviously, the PK and the first goal. He's a good striker. He is a really, really good striker. Better than Dusan? I think
it's not a comparison.
I think you get to see Sesko in favorable scenarios to him much more than we get to see Vlahovic in Italy. Because the clampdown game in Italy, when Fiorentina doesn't face it, Vlahovic is a killer. You come to Juve and teams clamp down, and more setups around Italy are 3-5-2s. It's becoming harder because that's not his game. Back to goal, all that. We've seen it enough. Everyone here knows it. What did I say yesterday? You get this guy facing goal, and then you'll see him look better. We know his shortcomings. The big key for Motta and Juve is limiting them. But I would still say Dusan is higher than Sesko.
I think they went head to head yesterday, and Dusan won the battle. So easy, Dusan.
There you go.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
you go.
Like need to see them. They're not playing in the same situations.
And this is no
Overall.
disrespect to Sesko. Like I said,
Yeah.
I like Sesko.
Yeah,
I think
I
he's
said it even before the match, and even last week when we talked about it. If things don't work out with Dusan, I would go for Sesko as a replacement. But we
Sesko's
still,
solid.
they're just not playing the same type of game. What Vlahovic has to face is very different to what Sesko has to face. He has a lot more open space in the Bundesliga. So I don't think it's a fair comparison. We haven't seen enough of Sesko to make that
When
play.
when you'll bring out the machine gun day again, Alberto, that one's gonna be safe for. I tell you what, if we were doing the live watch along yesterday, I would have probably ripped the machine gun one, but we'll see. This one, I love this one, by the way, from Daniele Lucci's burner account. You or Motta, rank our current center midfield hierarchy. I love this one. This is great question. So, who wants to kick us off on this one? Lex, you want to go through our midfielders and give us your hierarchy from top to bottom?
Ooh, okay. This is tough. They all have different roles. It's hard to compare all of them. So
let's say unanimously. Can we say Coop is first?
I was gonna say Coop
So
one.
Colt Miners first unanimously.
Yes.
At
Yes.
second, who would you put second?
Luca?
I think all four of them, and then Douglas Luiz. That's kind of because they're all very good at what they did. I don't feel anyone.
I'm gonna
outshined.
say Colt Miners. A second. I'm probably gonna go Fagioli right now.
I'd still go Locatelli.
I have Locatelli. I have Locatelli, despite how good he's been. I have him at third.
No, I think it's a bit of a recency bias.
Then McKennie. Then Thuram. And then I have Luiz.
Douglas. That's fair. I agree. Except for
Well, Luiz is not last because we still have Arturo on the team. So yeah, that's a nice one.
I forgot.
So others are going Coop,
remember.
Locatelli, McKennie. But what a beautiful problem to have. Couldn't have said it any better. But yeah, really 2 to 4, 2 to 5 you can change any given time.
Yeah.
But I actually think for the verse, and like I said, he's picking up steam. He brings a lot. Fagioli probably second, no lower than third. And if you want to put Loca there, that's cool. McKennie's in the mix too, but yeah, I still have him just kind of on the outside of Fagioli and Locatelli. But they'll all play their part. Unbelievable. Great stuff, you guys.
Let's bring up another thing. 2 of the teams we are facing have actually massively overachieved last night because Lille won against Real Madrid and Aston Villa beat Bayern. We faced both those teams. How are you feeling about it?
Champions League, I think, in general, like we said, this new setup is going to be a crapshoot. It's going to be a crapshoot. It's wild. Like, you're going to get... It's actually... I think once it goes towards the end, it's going to be a lot more exciting. Once these standings kind of start to neutralize around game 4. Okay, so another couple matches, and then it's really going to start picking up the intensity, and you will see teams take chances, and you'll see crazy matches like what we experienced yesterday because they're going to get after it because every point is going to be crucial.
I see another issue that might pop up, and that kind of depends on the draws you get. But when the league is that tight with 8 matches, the goal difference is going to be massive. Defining the standings by the end of it. And when you have more teams that are not up to par with the other teams, then you get like Bayern beating 9-2.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Yeah. That's a
And
huge
we
thing.
didn't get a team like that, that we can crash. So there goes the goal difference out the door. If we finish level with Bayern, they would probably finish ahead of
That
us.
is a little bit of an issue there, but yeah,
I mean, there were tons of goals in both Champions League days.
yeah. They tried to do it as best as possible with the
Yeah,
breakups on the pots and how they randomize whatever. And again, we'll have to wait to see how it plays out, but you might feel like yeah, some of the lower sides other teams have got are really, really low in comparison. But that's just something they're going to have to work out. This is the first year of it. But I do think, as far as an excitement level, this way is going to be better than the groups.
yeah, I like it
And it
more
should be
than the
because
group
it's a
so
Super
far.
League. And Agnelli created it and they stole it because they're the UEFA Mafia. There. All right. There. Where does this rank in your favorite Juve matches ever? Where does this one rank? It's gonna go
Uh,
up there. I'll tell you.
yeah, yeah,
It's gonna go up there.
cracks the top 10 easily.
It's
Easily
it's
crack the
in the
top 10.
top 10. It's in the top 10 this victory. This was something else. And again, you said when's the last time you kind of felt that way? Probably Atletico.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That come but this
that
was a lot different because this had like way more adversity than a score line. Like this was just insane. It felt this is not your day. It just isn't, okay?
hmm
But everything they overcome, the no calls going their way, no luck there, the injuries, like it just kept going and going and going, and they still found a way. This is maybe just outside of the top five for me. Incredible,
yeah.
incredible game.
The goals, the kit, the against all odds factor. Like in terms of against all odds matches, that seems completely out of your reach. That has to be number one, maybe number two.
Yeah.
Scoring three against Atletico, yeah, that's not an easy one too. But it definitely goes up there. I can't rank it right now because I've just watched it. I've been spending all morning watching just
Uh,
people online celebrating the goals
I watched it
just to get
again
hyped again.
last night. It was just what a great rewatch. I haven't
Yeah.
rewatched a game with such pleasure like that. It was insane. It was insane. Okay, should we have kept Facundo Gonzalez? The rear view mirror is a lot smaller than the windshield for a reason.
Mhm.
Always look forward. We can't worry about that one now. And there was apparently issues there. So no, there is no worries there. All right, no worries there. You guys, we wrap up again. What a victory. Yes, it's marred with the Bremer injury, etc. But again, don't forget what this team achieved yesterday and what they're allowing us to feel and experience. And again, we started it off with my man, Arsib, and that's his Twitter handle. And we're going to go back to it because it's just epic. Never forget.
Let's go! Let's go! What a freaking team we got, Bobby! Woo!
I absolutely love it. Never forget this game, those magical Champions League nights. And what is Motta cooking? Is he creating a monster? A mental monster? The mentality picking up all of these guys, the players delivering. I'm excited. Yes, it's bittersweet, but the guys that have been called upon answered the call. They did so yesterday. We move on and see what goes on from here. Sunday, it's 3:30 a.m. my time start. There's a watch along, okay? Keep in mind, as far as the preview show goes, it's going to be Saturday, and it might be around noon my time. There might be a different time, okay? So just stay tuned with us, and we'll all rock it together, all right? You guys have been absolutely great. Drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Join the AJC Army. Lex, Omer, absolute pleasure, and hope we get many, many more of these victories to discuss. Hopefully not so intense and, just for the sake of my
Oh,
heart.
yeah, I lost about 2 years of my life yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I had my doctor on speed dial just in case, okay? Because the heart was pumping.
Yeah.
But look forward to many more. You
I,
guys,
I always tell my wife, Juve making my life better while significantly shortening them.
yeah. And there you go. There you go.
Man.
You guys, take care. Enjoy the rest of this Victory Thursday. All right. And I'll keep you in the loop with the news. And then, like I said, Saturday preview show. Sunday, watch along. Fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. The best damn club in the world, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.